Yes, I know the pause symbol is facing the wrong way. I have an equal sign. This is an old video file that I'm re-recording over the audio to make it better quality. But remember, you need to pause at the symbol. The student will improve their mathematic academic vocabulary. This will be done through a comic book activity. You guys say that, oh, well, these speeches are boring, and this and that, and I don't like the presentation, so we'll give you guys a fun activity. You guys are going to make a comic book. So what you're doing is you're going to make a comic book. You'll increase your academic vocabulary by doing it. So therefore, you'll be smarter at math after doing this activity because you will know awesome math words. So, what is a comic strip? Here's the Peanuts. Everyone knows the Peanuts. Very, very old cartoon with Snoopy. Everyone loves Snoopy. And you can read through them. Actually, you can do black and white or color. My class, it has to be colored. You actually get points for coloring. So, there's also Spider-Man facing a Velociraptor, and Deadpool's in there too. So, Deadpool is awesome. So, whoever doesn't like Deadpool, I don't know, but there's like something wrong with you. I want to do a better one from Robert and Elliot. But Mr. Rowland said that it was inappropriate and I couldn't show it, but there are some good comics out there from this one. I do like that one. That one does make me giggle. And last is Dilbert. I don't really like Dilbert. I don't find it funny, but it's another example of comics. So why comic strips are comic strips and everyone has their own. So the requirements. First, sorry about the quality. I had to take this from an old recording, but first, you got to make a comic strip, your own comic strip, that will be 10 panels long. And this does include your title slide, so really you only look at 9 panels, okay? Students will use 10 mathematic vocabulary words. This will be done. They have to be underlined in order to get points in the comic. You'll find out later when I do of how your points will be. Comic books must have a flow and look like a real comic. You can't just have one panel, one panel, one panel. It's got to be a real comic. Effort is required, no stick figures allowed, and comic must be colored. So basically you're looking at 9 panels, so including your title slide. It's not too hard. And you have to have 10 academic vocabulary words. So that means basically 9, basically all 1 in each, maybe 2 in another, or you can do 3 in one and one doesn't have to have one. But have fun with this, you guys. It is a very fun activity, and it's not that hard to do. Some people kind of rush through it, but you can have some fun doing it. But again, real quick, 10 vocabulary words, 10 panels, including your regular slide. It's got to flow like a real comic. So any of the comics you just saw, it was flow 1, interacted with the next slide, which interacted with the next slide, which interacted with the next slide. Later, I'm going to show you how to do stick figures, how not to do stick figures, and why it's awesome not to do stick figures. So I'm going to run through this pretty quick. But here's the rubric. If you don't want to get any points, you basically turn in an assignment with no panels. So maybe it's just the name, and then there's nothing differentiating one slide from another. And then as you go up, you get more points. 5 or less panels, you're going to get 6 points. All 10 panels are done. So say you do all 10 panels, but it doesn't have the required information on them, you're going to get 7 points. 6 to 7 panels done with all the required information is going to get you 8. 8 to 9 panels is going to get you 9 points, and 10 panels is going to get you all the points. So definitions, easy. If you underline all of them, you get 10 points. If you underline 8 to 9 of them, you get 9 points. If you underline 6 to 7 of them, you get 8 points. 4 to 5 of them, you're only going to get 7. And if they are not underlined, but they are in there, you're only going to get 6 points. And 1 point if you use 3 or less, only 3 or less definitions. So effort is a big thing. This is 20 points, an A. If all the work is complete and it appears to be at your ability level. If you want 15, you're going to have to do all the work, but it's rushed or sloppy. 12 is, it looks like you put some forth effort, but I can clearly tell you didn't try. So that would be the D area. Coloring, all of it's colored, 10 points. Okay, it's colored, but it's sloppy. It's going to get you 9. Most all is colored, but it appears to be rushed or sloppy. So you didn't finish coloring it, but it is rushed and sloppy. You'll get 8. Most all is not colored, so this is like less than half it's colored. You'll get 7. 6 points is most all is not colored. So again, you made it's rushed or sloppy. 7, you made an attempt, but you forgot to do it. And then 7, well, basically 1 is you're going to be like this. You're not colored. You just did black and white comics. So where people tend to lose the most points is coloring. It's not that hard. I'm going to give you a whole class day to work on this. And then you can take it home and you work on it. And then you have the ability to work on it over the weekend too and turn it in. So there you go. Coloring is a big part. Effort. Just try. You'll get the points. I'm not saying that as long as you're trying, I'm going to give you the full points, but make it look like a high schooler did it. Definitions. Usually people get all the points here. However, they usually don't use all the definitions. They usually get that 8-point range because they usually forget a few of the definitions, or they ran out of time, or can't think of how to do them. And then next is the panels. Usually people do all the panels. The people that usually don't do all the panels are those people that rush it anyways, and they're not going to get good points. But I can't draw a stick figure. How do I draw a stick figure? What do I do? Well, here's a better way not to draw a stick figure. So we have our awesomeness. If I thought of it, I would have put a picture of me because I did that later and everyone giggled, but there's a stick figure. Instead, you draw an oval. Everyone can draw an oval. It's not that hard. That oval gets another oval for a foot. So he has 2 ovals. And then another oval for the other foot. It's starting to look like a person. Wait, there's one arm. What do you guys think is next? Another arm. Yay! So after that, we have the arms. And what does it need last? A head. Hooray! So now we have the base of a person. And he's not a stick figure too. So we have the base of a person right here. So next, it's going to be a she. So we're going to draw some little cute strands of hair. There's one there, and there's one there, and then there's one there, and my girl's turning into a real person. So there is the strands right there. Next, she gets a dress because it's a girl, and it's a pink dress with a matching turquoise shirt. There's our girl. Hooray! If you wanted to add a smiley face, you're going to add a smiley face onto her to make her into a real girl. But that's easy enough how to make a non-stick figured girl. So in a second, we're going to have a boy come up. So there's the boy. And if you notice, it has spiky hair just like Mr. B. Again, I put that picture of me with a hat or something. And he has blue jeans on. So now he has blue jeans. And then we're going to give him a red shirt. And you have a boy. So you've just turned a stick figure into 2 different things. To recap, no stick figures. Stick figures are evil. Let's see. Spend some time on it. 10 slides. 10 definitions. All underlined. Basically, you're looking at actually 9 slides because you can put the title slide because name your comic. 10 slides. Effort. You gotta have effort. It's got to be colored. You're gonna have fun with this, and it's gonna be a real cool activity for you guys to do. And I don't know how long this recap slide is, but recap, it's gonna be fun. You guys are gonna learn new mathematic words, and here's your pause symbol. Okay, pause. If you need to pause, if you don't need to pause, I'm gonna give you like 90 seconds of just pure vocabulary words. So pause if you don't need to pause. Get ready to go on to the next part of the slide. Okay, let's do this. Sum, answer to addition problem. Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. Quotient, answer to division problem. Product, answer to a multiplication problem. Add is put numbers together. Subtraction is pull numbers apart. Multiplication is grouping numbers. Division is removing of the grouping. Remainder is what's left over from division problem. Circle is a round object. Square has 4 sides. Triangle has 3 sides. Pyramid is a 3D triangle. Sphere is a 3D circle. Cube is a 3D square. Cylinder is a soda can. Fraction is actually a division problem. Numerator is the top numbers of a fraction. Denominator is the bottom number of a fraction. Improper fraction is large number on the top, small number on the bottom. Mixed number is a whole number and then a fraction. Variable is a number represented by a letter. Order of operations is PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Or GEMS. Scale would be two similar geometric shapes of different sizes. Factor, fact, similar, congruent, concave, convex, rate, ratio, time, distance, convert. Okay, there's a whole bunch of them right there. We have math, negative, positive, number line, number. The reason I skipped through them is pi. Pi is actually spelled P-I, but pie, P-I-E, is delicious. But you don't want to put P-I-E because P-I-E is a food. P-I is a number. So then we have a whole bunch of them in there. We have distance, like we have inches, feet, miles, and yards, which are all measurements of distance, meter, kilometer, so on and so forth. Have fun with those vocab words. So recap, I just gave you a lot of words in 90 seconds. That was not easy, but there are a lot more words you can use other than that. So if you want to pause, go back and get some words that you might think would be good in your comic, feel free to go back, get some of those. Here's the pause slide, so you can pause right now to go back and get those words if you need them. And if you don't need them, feel free to just keep it playing right now. Listen to my voice nag at you guys that you should have went back and paused. But here's an example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 panels. So if you want this, If I can find it on my jump drive tomorrow, I will give this to you. Otherwise, here's an example of 10 slides you can do. The first one would be your name and title, and then the other 9 would be in order of how your comic book would go. These are nice, neat, pretty. They kind of had little spaces in between them, and you are good to go. Next, we have one that, this one's cool because it has waves in it. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you want to do something like this, again, if I can find the presentation, because this is an old presentation I'm recording over, I will give you that. It should be on my teacher drive or my jump drive. But here's another example. If you can't just draw it, I'm not going to grade you on, it doesn't, your lines aren't perfectly straight. I'm not like that. You guys know that. So here's an example of another one that looks a little bit more fancy with the triangles. Again, we have a whole bunch. Spend some time, and here's word bubbles. Word bubbles and thought bubbles, actually a little bit of what I want to do, history of comic books. Word bubbles were actually added after, and then they're kind of like, I don't want to say they're taped or glued over, but you put word bubbles in after the fact, after you drew the comic. So you can guys do the same if you want. If I can find these, I'll give them to you. But you can put your word bubbles in after you're done. So draw the whole thing out, then add the word bubbles if you want, or vice versa. But there's some examples, and hopefully I can find this presentation to give you guys the word bubbles and thought bubble. But that would be a good way to get those numbers in there, and then you can also, that's it. So let's redo our objective. The student will improve their academic vocabulary. This will be done through a comic book activity. So again, I usually kind of brush through this and only make this a few seconds long, usually about 10 seconds long. But if you need to go back. There was a lot of information in there because I did give you a whole bunch of vocab words you can use. It's probably kind of hard for me to go and say those understand what I'm saying, those vocab words. But pick a good, on your notes that you're doing right now, write a good 20 vocabulary words that you can think off your top of your head. Everyone remembers sum, difference, product, quotient. Those are the easy ones. But then, like I said, circle, square, triangle, cube, pyramid. Distance is an easy one. Feet, miles, yards. It's easy to use words like that in your comic to get those other mathematic words out. Next, you're going to be getting a packet that has your rubric in there, but I went over the rubric in this, how you're going to get points, how you're going to lose points. It's not that hard of an activity. Most of the students have fun doing this because it's something a little bit different than the repetitive over and over and over stuff. But like I said, it's fun. You guys will enjoy it. You're welcome to, now when you're done, go look up some comics you guys enjoy to get some ideas. And again, I'm not going to grade you on your artistic ability. This isn't an art class. This is a math class, but I just don't want stick figures, so put some effort into it. No stick figures, and you guys will get a good grade.